Kahalo Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Wahab Rakakadash. Let's get straight to it. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 32, reading from verse 8. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much in few words. Be as one that knoweth, and yet holdeth his tongue. Last week, or in the previous week, we went over the the illegitimacy of those who are claiming to be Jews and are not. All right. And I believe we brought out the scripture that a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, in case I'm mistaken. This is Zechariah chapter 9, reading from verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod. I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. See, so knowing this, those over there who are claiming to be Philistines, and their pride has been or if not has, it is being cut off as we speak. We all know of what's been going on there, but let's get to the point of this. The point of this lesson was let's get a definition. Hopefully it's not losing me when I do this. So this is the definition of the word impostor: a person who pretends to be someone else in order to deceive others, especially for fraudulent gain. So their stories do not match or do not add up to biblical facts. For example, let's actually just get straight to it. Let thy speech be short, comprehending much. This, actually, let's start with, this is from the Compact Bible, or the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, under the definition of Ham. Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but Egyptians. It's like the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Pursuant to Genesis chapter 10, verse 6 through 20, I'm going to actually, I was going to leave it there, but I'll just go ahead and finish it. His indecency, when his father lay drunken, brought a curse upon Canaan. Genesis chapter 9, verse 20 through 27. 2. It says, city east of Jordan. Genesis chapter 14, verse 5. 3. The descendants of the original Ham. And I think it's pursuant to Psalms 78, verse 51, 105, verse 23, 106, verse 22. In these passages, Ham is used as another name for Egypt as representing Ham's principal descendants. So we know that the Hamites, or that Ham is the progenitor of the Egyptians. You can actually go into it, and you will find that his one of his sons' names is Misraim, which is it's where they get the name Misri from, or Mis from, which means an Egyptian. Let's keep going in this. With that said, we know the dark-skinned races of what we today call Africa. Those are the true Canaanites right there. Those are true Hamites right there, is what I mean to say. This is why we see them name things like Ethiopians, Libyans. So these things, we know that how they look, these dark-skinned people, right? That these are Hamites, not the Negroes, who are not of these people. Now, the story of these so-called Philistines and the Egyptians of today will tell you that they are legitimate, for one, which is almost comical. 2, they will tell you that they are descendants of Ishmael. So if you are a descendant of Ishmael, well, you can't possibly be a true Egyptian, a true Canaanite, nor a true Philistine, because these peoples are descendants of Ham. Salakia. All right. Here we go. This is kind of breaks it down a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that there. Yeah, let's see that. So under Noah, we see his 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, right? So this is where the so-called Egyptians are coming from. The Libyans, the Canaanites, the real Philistines, the and other such races, not the Negroes. Let's continue on just a little bit. We're going to follow the line of Shem. Just a moment here. So right here, where's it? How can I get that in there? Under Shem, as we go down the line, it goes into his line a little bit. But down there we see Abraham. They even have Lot there. You should know that. He from Lot came the Elamites, Slakia, the Ammonites and Moabites came out a lot. Abraham, what races came out of Abraham? Well, if we were to continue this line a little bit, you would see that Abraham begat Ishmael, and Isaac would be his sons. Maybe it would bring up I don't really like this one. Salakia, bear with me. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'm going to share the screen. All right, you should be able to see this now. This is the point of interest over here. For Abraham, under Abraham, he had two wives, or the wife and the who was Sarah, and then Hagar was the handmaid. So she may have been considered a concubine. Salakia. So under let's keep going with this just a moment. So under Abraham was Ishmael and Isaac. Isaac was counted for the promise. Let's continue on. Under Isaac, you got Jacob and Esau. Esau is where the Amalekites are from. Esau is Edom. And Esau dwelt in Mount Seir. We know who Jacob is, the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel. But the point here is we went over who is Esau, Edom. They claim now over here the let's just say the Arabs of today, who are some of them are whom are claiming to be the Philistine, they also claim to be from Ishmael. This just doesn't work. It's not true. You can't be both under Ishmael and under the one that is called Ham. Let's read that again. Where is it at? Oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna read this again, but then I'm gonna grab another um definition. So under Ham, it reads one, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Let's keep going. So now we're going to grab another definition of Canaan. Canaan. 1. Canaan was the son of Ham in the genealogical list in Genesis chapter 9 and 10. His descendants occupied Canaan and took their name from that country. Genesis chapter 9, verse 18, chapter 22, chapter 10, verse 6. 2. Canaan was one of the old names for Palestine, the land of the Canaanites dispossessed by the Israelites. So these Palestinians, the original of those original Palestine, are actually Canaanites, descendant from Ham. Ham being one of the 3 sons of Noah. One of the 3 sons of Noah, not from the line of Ishmael. And actually, I found something in here. They're going to go off a little bit. So I'm going to read a little bit more so you can see that this thing actually went off. The etymology of the name is unknown, as is also the earliest history of the name, but Egyptian inscriptions of 1800 BC use it for the coastland between Egypt and Asia Minor. Slakia. This lets you know that the term Middle East, this is actually cut upon that term because that name was not used until recent years. It was not called the Middle East. That was actually, it's actually Asia Minor. Still Asia. Let's continue on. Here we are. The Canaanites were of Semitic stock and were part of a large migration of Semites, Phoenicians, Amorites, Canaanites. Now, to get this thing together, we should know, like, maybe they need to clarify what they mean by Semitic stock. Because let's go to it. Let's go to Sim. Because we know that Sim was not mentioned in the Bible. It is actually Shem. And Shem, well, that came from the was remember Ham, Shem, and Japheth. Shem was one of the sons of Noah. So in order to be of Shemitic stock, you have to be from the line of Shem. You can't say an Israelite is of Hamitic stock because, well, he simply isn't the forefather of an Israelite. You can't say that a Japhite is from or yeah, is of Semitic stock because Japhet is the brother of Shem. Those stories would not hold weight. Salakia. So simply looking for sim as I am. Hmm. You don't see it. That's not there. Now let's find another one if we can look up another one. All right. Ah, Shem. Shem, second son of Noah and progenitor of the Semitic race. So you can say that this Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary cut itself because you cannot be of Shemitic stock if you are Hamite. You cannot be of Shemitic stock if you are Japhite. It just doesn't work like that. So, but you can be of you are of Shemitic stock if you are from anything under Shem. And races we know of that come from Shem would be Israelites. What's the name? Edomites, Ishmaelites, Moabites, Ammonites. These sort of races are known to come from Shem. Salaki, if I missed any, I'm not really trying to get into that right now. So that's how you know who, first of all, none of those people can be what do they call it? Let's call it just schematics. That's not what they are. Because how can you be, if you are schematic, I'm just saying, man, if you are anti-Shemite, well, if you are any of those races, you too are a Shemite. So most of those, it just doesn't work like that. So when they say you're anti-Shemitic because you came against the small hats, well, there's a lot of people that who are accused of being such a way, but are all probably themselves also Shemites. It is what it is. That pretty much cut it. So that cut the Philistine. So allegedly, the alleged Philistines and those who we know are Amalekites. So let's actually grab. Let's actually have a video. Fair use.
Saying Netanyahu is Amalek. Netanyahu, I didn't have to say it. This is a fact. Amalek means people who uproot people from God, especially the Jewish people uproot from God. This is the job of the.
What's Slakia? He said, "People from God." Amalek. This is the book of Exodus. Read from chapter 13, this is 12. Verse 16. For he said, because the Lord hath sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So these people are not from God. As a matter of fact, let's grab a scripture. The progenitor of Amalek is Esau Edom. Let's see if we can actually get that. Okay. Amalek, son of Eliphaz, the eldest son of Esau, by his concubine Timnah. Genesis chapter 36, verse 12, and First Chronicles chapter 1, verse 36, Duke of Edom. Genesis chapter 36, verse 16. So God swore that he would have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Now, let's see what he says of Edom as a whole in the New Testament. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 9. We're going to read from verse 27. It says, Azias also cried concerning Israel, though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved, for he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will the Lord make upon the earth. And as Isaiah said before, except the Lord of Sabbath had left us a seed, we had been as Sodom and been made like unto Gomorrah. Salakia. 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 Wrong. I'm going to, we're still reading from Romans chapter 9. I'm going to read from verse 7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So this thing was preordained to be the way that it is. Predestined. We're going to read from Peter, First Peter, chapter 1, reading from verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia, elect according to the foreknowledge of God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit unto obedience, and sprinkling of the blood of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, grace unto you all, and peace be multiplied. You see, this was according to the foreknowledge of God, meaning he knew aforetime whom would be counted for the seed of promise, who would inherit his promises. Who are the elect? These things were according to his foreknowledge. One moment. Let's get a. This is from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Elect, one. Carefully selected. Synonym included chosen. These were chosen to be a certain way. Remember, he said, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. That's what the Son said. Let's see what the Father said. Let's see what he said. This is the God that changes not. What did he say? Ah. We're reading from the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, reading from verse 5. Verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people, but because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had swore unto your fathers, hath the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So this is because the Lord has loved us, for he loved the children of Israel, and that he would keep the oath which he swore unto our fathers. Now, but remember, this is the foreknowledge of God. So did he just make that up as he went? Did he kind of wing it? And until he met Abraham, he winged it a little more. Met Isaac, winged it just a little bit more, and set his promise upon Jacob? No, he didn't just wing it. That's not what the Lord does. Let's get it. Slakia. One chapter off. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, reading from verse 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys of Sion were hot, or ere the present years were sought out, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me alone, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. Kahala Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Waharakah Kadash. Shalom.